You know, they say you can't judge a book by its cover, but it has become appallingly clear that you can judge an entire continent by its media coverage. You see, you can color a whole continent dark with the paint of poorly placed perception when you rely on the media to teach you your Africa lessons. Because I come from a continent that the world thinks is a country, and to put it bluntly, we're all HIV positive until proven negative in the eyes of the media. It's like Africa is either one big safari or Kalahari with seething heathens and no sense of religion and home to animals and animism, because TV renditions of African afflictions have created a depiction of a land of savages, where the world's most dreadful diseases exceed the law of averages. And since most TV only shows you the ravages of a select few nations, most Americans juxtapose the mother of civilization with phrases like damnation and starvation. And so until we take control of our own images, we can't expect to see a true representation of our beauty. Most non-Africans believe that the most Africa has contributed to the world are phrases like Hakuna Matata and Asante Sana Squash Banana, along with exotic vacations in remote locations, because I never heard an American TV news station even say that we're made up of 54 nations. In the eyes of the media, we're just underdeveloped wannabe Caucasians, still searching for civilization, if you buy the media's interpretation of who we are. But am I taking this too far? Because to me, the real problem be the WB, ABC, and NBC, which are the real WMD, weapons of mind destruction, because most people, including many Africans, only see what they see through the smart bombs they call TV. And it's not just a newscast, it starts at like age 3, because I grew up watching images of Bugs Bunny dressed in grass skirts and blackface, speaking in African dialects, and every 10 years, there's a new version of Tarzan on the TV set. And I don't know about y'all, but I recall seeing gorillas pass for Africans in those Tintin cartoons. And if you remove Marvin Marsh and tell me from Looney Tunes, he's probably an illegal African alien or famine-stricken African child of his belly protruding. And it's these convoluted images that have helped create grown-up policymakers who partially base their opinions of our homeland from films such as Congo, Gorillas in the Mist, and The Air Up There, and we can't forget Tears of the Sun, which left too many tears on the sons and daughters of Africa searching for a positive representation of who we are. But that won't happen until we as Africans take responsibility for our portrayal, because the betrayal of our friends from CBS, Fox, and CNN means that we will never see an end to these characterizations of the continent of human creation, which has to make it look like she's on her deathbed and ready for cremation. But we must show the world that our mother Africa is strong, vibrant, and defiant, because the pulse of nearly 1 billion people can never die once we take control of what the world sees. And so we can never comply with pictures painted by pessimists on TV of our homeland, because we, you and me, we are the pulse of Mother Africa, and we must now show the world how proudly we will stand. Free your African mind, my brother. Free your African mind, my sister. Free yourself from those mental chains that say you don't come from that dark continent, when they know another continent darker than you. Realize you've been brainwashed by wicked, wicked men, but your oppression has also been perpetrated by your own brethren. I know that the rapings, castrations, and lynchings were grueling, but the castration of the mind has more longevity than a lynching. You're wrenching further and further away from your motherland. You let them tell you that your slave-inspired slang was Ebonics and not a rich African language of English words, and so you were afraid to speak the word. You believed them when they told you your continent was dark. However, you didn't realize it's because they've been trying to steal her sunlight for centuries. From whitening the ancient Egyptian to whitening Beethoven to whitening Michael Jackson, you've been brainwashed. From slave codes to black codes to Jim Crow, you've been brainwashed. From K1 to cum laude, you've been brainwashed. You see, you want to be American, though America has decided she no longer needs you, while the entire continent pleads you to come home. So free your African mind. Free those naps suppressed under that process. Free those hips and those tight jeans that only attract negative attention and suffocate your natural nilotic curves. Free those brown, luscious lips from ravishing red lipstick. Brothers, free your kidneys from sipping 40s and sip fresh waters from the Nile Basin. Free yourself from feeling you have to step all over your lady and step with me on my Kilimanjaro. Free your mind and stop trying to free William to our co-partner in our fight for liberation. To deny that you're African is to deny your place on earth as the first. Why claim to be a Negro and kill over street corners when you can claim ancient Nubia? Why claim a country you can have a continent? I speak to all of you in denial, from African Americans to West Indians to even continental Africans. Malcolm and Marcus and Marley died trying to free your minds. Accepting your African blood turns you into a worldwide majority and not a national minority. It stretches your history much farther than Mississippi. It explains why you're as beautiful as you are, why you worship like no other, and why you can never be defeated while standing on the shoulders of God and your ancestors. All of you rise! You ghetto prisoners who are really Ghanaian princes, rise! You downtrodden women who are really Burundian princesses, rise! You think being born on the continent is enough to make you African, rise! Dark-skinned Latinos rise, confused Cape-Verdeans rise, westernized West Indians rise, egocentric Euro-Africans rise, amnesic Afro-Asians rise, almost annihilated Australian Aborigines rise! Realize, like Bob Marley realized, that being African is a state of mind. And walk with me through that bright African sunrise, and I guarantee your mind, body, spirit, and nation will rise, 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 high as the glistening skies. Just free, you all matter.